This is your sign to go all in on yourself because the only limitation is you, it's your mind. And I want to talk about the importance of following your passion, following your heart, and following your intuition. All of these things come from a higher place. And I've discovered through my life, through exploring various different passions, through taking on various different challenges, through following my intuition, I've discovered the importance of putting all of that above everything else in life, whether it be paths laid out by other people, or whether they be images in our head that we've had conditioned and that we have as ideas of success. I'm saying throw it all to the side because there's only a few things that matter when it comes to you realizing your potential, when it comes to you becoming the highest version of yourself. And those things are going to be the things that are internal. When I'm talking about intuition, intuition is your key to happiness. When you begin to follow your intuition, you're really following a path laid out by your soul. And so when you follow those impulses, those moments of inspiration, those ideas that come from you being at peace, from you being in a good feeling, those good feeling thoughts, those good feeling ideas, they came to you for a reason. Now, the issue that we do have is we try to put a specific label, or we try to put that intuition or that idea or that inspiration into a box right away. We live in a life where we can't commit to something unless we know exactly where that's going to take us. A lot of people can't get into a serious relationship because they don't know where they're going to be at in a few years. They're afraid that commitment will eventually lead to failure. And so instead of living and experiencing a beautiful thing, they prefer to not dive in and to play it safe. And the issue here is that there's also a misunderstanding of commitment. When you commit to your intuition, what you're committing to isn't really a result. It's not you getting the thing. It's you going through the process. You're committing to the process. You're committing to the enjoyment of walking the path, because the path reveals things to you that you would never have known. People want to, when we're talking about enjoying the path, when we're talking about enjoying the journey, what we're really talking about is learning to commit to intrinsic motivation. People want extrinsic motivation. They want to have the trophy, they want to have the money, they want to have the image that everybody else wants to put out as success. But the issue with that is that those ideas of success didn't come from your heart. And that's the thing that we're completely missing out on. When you're moved and driven by your heart, by intrinsic motivation, by internal values, you are in a completely different playing field. You are living a life that is at the edge of evolution. You are at the edge of your progression. You're living in between the unknown and the known. And that is the path that people are all afraid to walk. So many people are afraid to walk. And the thing here is that I'm telling you, taking a break from living my path, being on the edge, taking so many risks in my life, I'm coming here and I'm telling you that it's worth it. It's worth it for you to go all in and commit to a path of fulfillment rather than success. I'm talking about an intrinsic sense of achievement versus an extrinsic sense of achievement. Your soul is found within you. It is not found anywhere outside of you. Yes, maybe these passions will bring you joy, maybe they will, but at the end of the day, what they're really bringing you is going to be more ideas for inspiration, more opportunities for creativity, more opportunities for expression. And that's what you really want, because when you get that, you evolve. When you put yourself in situations where you're challenging yourself, you're learning, you're following these things that bring you joy and that bring you inspiration, then those things will bring you even more of the same thing. So then that will lead you to continue to grow as a person and gain skills, and then use those skills to help others around you, and also just live a more fulfilled life. What I want to talk about here is the issue that through extrinsic motivation, we self-sabotage ourselves. And I'm going to give you an example, because oftentimes I have issues with. I recently had an issue with this, which was basically I wanted to learn to animate, and it's been a thing that I've always had in my mind. I create YouTube videos, and in early on in my journey, I always imagined myself being able to create things in my videos while I'm speaking, being able to depict images, being able to show the things that I'm speaking about and explain it in a way that can be seen in a tangible way through animation, for example. But I wasn't able to ever find the time because I felt like that would take away from my YouTube journey. If I started to learn to animate, I wouldn't be posting videos. But then I also didn't want to post videos because I wasn't learning to animate, so they weren't good enough. And this all came from this idea of what it meant to be successful as a YouTuber and also what it meant to be successful as an animator. Because commonly known, extrinsically seen, you will see that a YouTuber is somebody that can post consistently all the time, like constantly posting videos and never running out of ideas and always delivering something life changing. So there's that big expectation, and then you have this other expectation from the animation world, from motion design, where these people are really just artists. They're more so specialists. So me diving into a career, or or basically me diving into animation was really me thinking that I'm gonna get into a career dealing with animation. So I didn't know how to find the in between there. And now that I've learned, now that I've reflected on this, I realized that these two notions of success were completely not why I internally started both projects or both endeavors. I started YouTube because I wanted to express myself. I wanted to share my truth to the world, and I wanted to get into animation because I wanted to express that truth even more so. I wanted to find another way to express that truth, to enhance my truth. So, how did I get to this place where I stopped posting YouTube videos altogether and I didn't even get into animation? I spent thousands of dollars on courses that I never finished. How did I get to this point? Well, because I was self-sabotaging my growth through trying to use an extrinsic image of success from both of these camps of the world and trying to use those to navigate my life. But through internal reflection, through meditation, through contemplation, I realized that the path that has been laid out by others is not my path. And it's the same thing for you. The path that has been laid out by others is not your path. Your path is unique, and your path cannot be found anywhere else but through a constant progression of you going within. You have to go out and do the thing and get the feedback that you get the information that you get from doing the thing, go through the challenges, go through the fire, and you'll become renewed. You'll realize something new about yourself. You'll see yourself in a different light. And through seeing yourself in a different light, you'll be able to go out into the world and understand yourself at a much deeper level, and then be able to express yourself at a much deeper level. You'll be able to impact people and help people in a much deeper way. So it's time to flip the narrative. We have to think about how we're approaching the things that we approach. What are the measures of success that we are using? Are we using extrinsic values, or are we using intrinsic values that we have chosen through our connection to our hearts, to our higher self? That is a question. Every time you go into something, if you feel like it brings you joy, like it brings you fulfillment, like it's something that's fun, then do it, explore it, because you are pursuing something that your soul is calling you to. You have to go all in. You have to commit to it. You have to allow yourself to surrender yourself to the process, because the moment you start to put a wall up, you start to put a label onto something, you have to be very careful, because then you can limit your growth. I'll give you an example of a path that I've lived and that I've learned so much from: holistic healing. I left YouTube also because I wanted to learn more about holistic healing. That path was a little easier for me because I got into holistic healing first through my mom. My mom invited me to the workshop and I said, okay, let's do it. And through that, I realized that I could make a whole business out of it, or at least that was a possibility. And yet, I found more value from me just exploring it. I was discovering new ways of helping people. I was discovering new ways of helping people. I was learning new powers that I have as a human being that had never been taught to me. I was learning about medicine in a way that nobody had ever talked about in Western medicine. And I found it to be such an empowering experience that I didn't care whether I made money from it. And I did try making a business from it. It was something that I thought worth pursuing. But at the end of the day, I was able to change some people's lives. And not only that, I now have the resources to help my family out when they need help. I have been able to help my son out when he's sick. I've been able to help my wife out when she's sick. And that has just been a completely different change in my lifestyle. But what people often do is when they get into something, for example, if I wanted to get into holistic healing for the purpose of making money, maybe I would see myself now as a failure because I haven't really developed that line in my business. I haven't really developed that area in my life. But the way I see it, it's been a completely different experience. I've been able to help so many people, and I feel more competent. I worry less. I have the ability to help my family out in a way that even doctors can't. So having that available to me is something that I wouldn't have expected. And now I wouldn't have, if I hadn't followed my passion, if I hadn't followed that impulse of wanting to discover more, to learn more about myself, to follow my intuition. If I hadn't followed that, then I wouldn't be here. And that's what happens when you go into something just for the sake of self-discovery, of wanting to learn more about yourself. And that's something that I want to emphasize with this story. So you need to commit to self-discovery. You need to commit to growth. When you're entering a path, make growth your primary objective. Make self-discovery your primary objective. Don't make it about making money. Don't make it about trying to achieve some level of success. Make it about what's going on right now. Stop making it about what could happen. Make it about what you're receiving right now. It's really about being present. It's about understanding what's going on in the moment, how you're feeling while you're doing it, and what information are you getting through the process. What are you learning about yourself? How is this changing your life in the moment? Allow yourself to see yourself, because at the end of the day, every experience that you take on is for you. It's not for anybody else. You're going into these places in your life, you're going into these passions, into these callings, into these experiences. And at the end of the day, it's all going to be for the benefit of yourself and for the people around you. So many people want it to be about external rewards, but the external rewards only come after the internal rewards. Once you have developed yourself to a point, you can then go on about your life and use those tools that you have taken on. Every experience is a tool that you can add to your tool belt. As you grow, as you develop yourself, you're going to be able to now use these different skills that you've gained and create something completely different. You're going to create a human being that can go through challenges in a completely unique way. And this is something that I want to emphasize, because when you're open to the unexpected, when you're open to letting yourself just be transformed through these experiences, you gain a new way of expressing yourself. You gain a new way of helping people out. So allow yourself to evolve, allow yourself to grow. And in doing so, you'll be able to create a life that nobody could ever replicate. You are now at the edge. You're at the edge, and you are known as a creator. And something that I just want to let you know, it's the perfect time to do this. The universe is telling you that it's now. Look at the way AI is coming into the world. Look at the way technology is advancing. I've realized that I can achieve more in one lifetime than other people could do in 5 lifetimes. Why? Because now we have technology to help us. Time is speeding up, meaning we can do more with the time that we have now. We have the ability to create more fulfilled life, more meaningful life, and more deep lives. If that makes sense, we can cram more into our lives than we ever could have in the past. I can extend myself now through the technologies and the advances that we've made, because if I learn how to use these tools that are coming into the world, I can use those to help me create more and more of what I desire to create. I can use these tools to advance, to create more in my life. So this is the time to do it. And I want to just throw it out there. I feel like so many people are afraid about what's going on with AI, but it's just another opportunity. We are not our jobs. And I want that to be maybe that's something that needs to be mentioned with the theme of this video. We are not our jobs. We are not the labels that we put on ourselves. We are not the experiences that we choose to take on. All of these things are feeding us, are feeding our ability, are feeding us as creators. As we learn to step into our power as creators, we're able to transform any situation as an experience, as a lesson, as a tool, as a technology for our further advancement, for our further expansion. So I think even now, if you guys haven't heard of Dan Coe, he just blew up because of his presentation of the one person business model. Basically, you don't have to specialize. You can become a generalist. You can explore multiple passions, and you can create a successful business from it. Through your exploration of multiple passions, you're able to help people out and create products that nobody could replicate because they don't have the same skill set that you do. You have a business within you, and if you're not into entrepreneurship, you just have a life within you that cannot be replicated. And I want that to be a reminder because as you go down your path, take advice. I've paid for courses, I've paid for coaches, I've read so many books, thousands of books, and I've had many mentors in my life. But the one thing that I realize now is that the advice that they give me is not advice that I should be taking on as if it's concrete paths to success. These are just tools that I can take in. You don't have to follow a specific path. You don't have to follow a specific system. The system is really you. You are the system. You are the business. You are the path. So, take the advice, but always remember that you're supposed to be the primary source. All the wisdom is within you. The intuition that you have, the inspiration that you have, it's all meant to guide you to the place that you need to be. And it's going to be a place that is meant only for you. And it's going to be a place that will fill your heart in a way that nothing else could. So, with all that said, just letting you know, commit to the moment, commit to the process, follow internal rewards, question your why, find out what your why is. And if it's external, make sure to flip it into something that's internal, something that resonates with your soul. It's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to be a creator. So go do that. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you on the next one. Stay lucid. Peace.